let's review how to use our graphing calculator to get some sample data such as the mean and standard deviation value. So we have two separate samples here, male pulse rates and female pulse rates. So let's first designate the male pulse rates as our L1 data and female pulse rates as our L2 data. So in our calculator, the first thing we're going to do is press this stat button so that we can edit our data into a list into our calculator. So go ahead and press stat, choose that first tab, edit, and then you'll see here that I already typed in the male pulse rates under L1. So now if you want to take out your graphing calculator, you can work along with me, and let's type in the female pulse rates under L2. So we have 64, 84, 82, 70, 74, 86, 90, 88, 90, 90 again, 94, 68, 90, 82, and 80. Okay, now that you have your data typed in, the next thing we're going to do is go back to that stat button, but this time tab over to calc and then choose that first option, one variable stats, which stands for variable statistics for your sample data. Here you're going to choose which list you want to calculate the sample statistics for. So let's go ahead and go back to L1. Your calculator will probably default to L1, but if it doesn't, just press the second button and the number 1 and it'll change your list. And then use the arrow key to get to calculate, press enter. And here we can see that for the male data, let me record it down here, the sample mean is 69.47 beats per minute, with a standard deviation value of 11.27 beats per minute. And then now let's repeat that process for the female data. So I'm going to go back to stat, tab over to calc, again choose one variable stats. This time I'm going to change my list to L2 by pressing the second and the 2 button. You'll see up here it changes that to L2. And let's press calculate and get the sample statistics for the female pulse rate. So for females, the mean value is 82.13 beats per minute with a standard deviation of with a standard deviation of 9.21. So 9.21 beats per minute. And then once we have these values, then we can calculate the coefficient of variation for each sample because the coefficient of variation involves the sample standard deviation over the sample mean. We need to get those values first, then you multiply it by 100 to get that value as a percentage. So again, in order for us to use that formula for coefficient of variation, we do need to get our sample statistics first.